Joining us in studio this morning is Kim Keblish. She is a public affairs specialist with the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And we're going to walk you through some of the important steps this morning. Thanks for being here, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me, Vincent.
You said you're based out of Chicago, but you're spending some time up here in Milwaukee doing exactly this, explaining to people how they access these resources.
That's correct.
So first question, how do you know if you qualify for assistance from the federal government for flood damage you may have had?
Yeah, thank you so much. So FEMA assistance is direct financial assistance to homeowners and renters. This is money that does not have to be repaid. This is for individuals that had uninsured loss or damage caused by the early August storms. When I say uninsured, FEMA is not able to duplicate the benefits that are covered by insurance. So make sure you file a claim with your homeowners, renters, flood insurance if you have vehicle insurance, if they may cover any losses. Uninsured, meaning, if you do not have insurance, FEMA definitely wants to talk to you. If you have insurance, but insurance is denying your claim, is not able to cover anything, we certainly want to talk to you. If you have insurance, but they only cover some damage, I would also encourage you to apply for FEMA assistance. And the best way to do so, the quickest way, is to go online at disasterassistance.gov. You can also call the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362. And by calling the helpline, you could speak to a real-life specialist, which is so helpful for some folks that aren't the most tech-savvy. And I just want to touch on some types of assistance FEMA may be able to help with. Again, this is cash. This is grant assistance, money that does not have to be repaid, money towards uninsured losses like temporary housing arrangements. If your home is no longer safe or habitable to live in, and you've since been displaced and you're living with a family member, or maybe you're renting out a new property, FEMA may be able to help with that. If, basic home repairs and home replacements, as well as coverage for other disaster-related expenses. The top ones I want to mention, because a lot of people are probably feeling this, are your HVAC, your furnace, your heater, your water heater. Also want to mention vehicle repair and replacement, moving and storage costs, childcare costs, medical costs, other furniture and appliances that have been damaged as well.
We know a lot of people that either maybe it was their insurance isn't the same as their neighbors, or they don't have as much, or they don't know as much, or as far as what their basement looks like, or it's even like their rugs. Like would a carpet that had to get pulled out, could that be something that could even be paid for?
If people had to tear out their floors, if they had to replace their furnace, HVAC, water heater, they're looking to replace those things, they have contractor receipts or estimates, and you're uninsured, I would encourage you to apply, right? This assistance is here to help people get on their path to recovery and help, make sure they're able to have the basic needs and basic sanitary living conditions.
We're talking with Kim Keblish of FEMA. And Kim, I would also remind people we did assemble some of the critical links and pieces of information that you provided for us. To make it easier for you, you can text FEMA, F-E-M-A, to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. That's FEMA to 855-616-1620. I'll have producer Greg Hill send a link directly to you to some of the things that Kim has discussed here. So important point that I wanted folks to make sure that they heard. You don't have to wait to do these repairs on your home, to get back on your feet, to clean things up. You can do that, and then if you qualify, you can submit receipts after the fact, right?
Yes, thank you so much for asking that. FEMA can reimburse for these losses. Please do not wait if you haven't cleaned up your home, if you are not in a safe space, please make sure you're doing the best you can for yourself, getting to a safe and habitable place to live in. FEMA can help reimburse some costs. After you apply for FEMA assistance, FEMA may ask for additional documentation, and that could look like your contractor receipts and estimates. If you have insurance, FEMA will certainly ask for insurance documentation, like an insurance settlement letter, a denial of benefits, a summary of benefits and coverage. FEMA may also ask for proof of identity or proof of home ownership or occupancy, because we want to verify that you are who you say you are, and this is, in fact, your home that was damaged and there is this need.
Is there a deadline?
Yes, the deadline is November 12th. But remember, the sooner you get your application in, and the sooner you submit your documentation, and maybe even do a home inspection if that is what is required, the sooner you can get possible assistance. I also want to note, when you're applying for FEMA assistance, you could put down direct deposit if you prefer that, or you can opt for check. obviously direct deposit would hit your account faster if you opt for that method.
I also wanted to expand on something that you said, all this documentation or the proof of this and proof of that. I know that can feel burdensome to people, but they should know that you're asking for these things so there aren't fraudulent claims. And certainly that's something that we've dealt with locally, federally, state level. So this money is there for people who need it. You have to have certain protections so somebody isn't trying to rip people off.
Yes, yeah, so true. We just want to make sure people are eligible for the assistance. They are who they say they are. They have the documentation to show it. But I just want to say, in order to apply for FEMA assistance, you don't need this documentation off the bat, right? You just need the basic information of your email address, your Social Security, your address that was damaged. If you're living in a new household now, a new address, please include that. Best contact information. It is so important for people to make sure they put down a good email address and phone number, because FEMA may try to text you as well and ask for this supplemental documentation or ask to maybe even schedule a home inspection. So please be on the lookout for communications from FEMA after you apply. Please put down reliable contact information.